What's up, Arizona? You're watching 12 Sports tonight on 12 Plus. I'm Cameron Cox. We're going to catch up with the rest of the crew here in just a moment. Every week, come hang out with us, talking all things Arizona sports. We're going to tell you the important stories, the ones that matter, and introduce you to people that inspire. This is 12 Sports Tonight, Arizona's OG and longest-running sports show, streaming on 12 Plus. Like we do each and every Wednesday night during football season, we're going to kick off the show by announcing our Friday Night Fever Game of the Week poll. All right, 3 fantastic matchups to pick from this week. And how is this for like a mid-season pick 'em? All of these teams undefeated coming into this week, right? It didn't come down to the wire. The winner, blew away the poll. Congrats to, who we got? Who is it? Wait for it. There it is, folks. How cool is this? Undefeated Combs taking on undefeated Arcadia. Tighten up. Yes, we are coming out there to Arcadia this Friday night to kind of kick off the Fever, right? By the way, this game won with more than 80% of the vote this week. And you got to understand why. Arcadia off to another great start to this year. A new head coach out there for the Titans. Combs, truly one of the best stories in the entire state. Get this, they are the only school in Arizona not to allow a single point this season. They pitch shutouts every week, 5-0. How cool is that? Undefeated against undefeated. You guys will lead off the show on Friday night.
Fever Sweet Plays is sponsored by Sweet James Accident Attorneys.
Speaking of voting, it is open. Our Sweet Play of the Week. Nominees from Brophy, ALA Mesa North, and Glendale. Go vote right now on 12news.com or scan the QR code you see on your screen for your favorite play. The voting goes all week. Winners announced, of course, every Friday night on the Fever. At the end of the year, all the weekly winners going to be up for the Sweet Play of the Year and a $5,000 scholarship courtesy of Sweet James Accident Attorneys. And folks, here we go. We got some exciting news as always. Live high school football going to be streamed on the 12 Plus app every Thursday night this year. We're starting to get into such a great rhythm with Thursday night football. And this week, we got a fantastic matchup. We got Fairfax at Trevor Brown, a Phoenix Union matchup. A pregame show starts at 6:30. Kickoff is at 7. Tune in every Thursday night to the 12 Plus app for some high school football. Then join us Friday night for Friday Night Fever, Arizona's longest running high school football show. You know the drill. Scores, highlights, interviews from all over the state. So be a believer. Catch the Fever every Friday night at 11:35.
All right, time for sports with Cam Cox. And Cam, look, Torey Lovello is coming back. I think most of us think that's a good thing.
Sure.
But unless they fix their glaring weaknesses,
and there's a bunch,
it's going to be the same thing next year.
Yeah, and that's one thing Mike Hazen talked about today. They're going to get right to work. And really, they talked for 40 minutes today. D-backs GM Mike Hazen, manager Torey Lovello, facing those tough questions, taking accountability for missing the playoffs for a second straight season. Hazen expressing overall disappointment, but proud of the way this team kind of stayed in the race after being sellers at the trade deadline. Hazen also saying, despite owner Ken Kendrick saying the payroll will likely go down next year, remember they're paying a bunch of injury guys to start the year, that will not limit his ability to upgrade this roster in the offseason. Pitching will be the main target. As far as the decision to bring back Lovello for the final year of his contract, Hazen believes Torey is the right man to lead this team, and the proof is in the players. Torey has unfinished business.
But I'm not ready to walk away from this. I want to win a world championship here in the Valley. I want to celebrate with the fans. I have dreams that we all talk about. I'm just grateful. Right now I'm feeling just very grateful for them still believing in me, and I know we can do this here. I feel very strongly that we're going to do something special here.
There's a lot here in my mind that Torey does so well that puts our players in a position to have success. It's also on me to provide him with the resources to go out there and win baseball games, and I did not do that this year. Once that first line got hurt, there was not enough there to safety net underneath that, and I need to do a better job of that.
Torey Lovello got a new. They're keeping him.
They're keeping him.
Not a new deal.
Not a new deal, Mark. Yeah. And this is kind of a mixture with fans. I'm sure a lot of fans like to see it. I'm sure other fans have some mixed feelings about it. But yes, Torey Lovello is coming back for another year. The D-backs manager will return next season. It will be his 10th season. Lovello and the D-backs coming off, of course, what is really a disappointing year, maybe one of the most disappointing in D-backs history. They entered the season with a World Series roster, a $200+ million payroll, but as we all saw, they fell way short, missing the playoffs for a second straight season, despite all the major injuries. And then being sellers at the trade deadline, the D-backs were in the playoff hunt till the end. LaVelo has 1 year left on his contract. Now, some fans kind of critical of the decision, saying LaVelo has an overall below 500 record, despite being the winningest manager in D-backs history, and only has 2 playoff appearances in 9 seasons. D-backs owner Ken Kendrick on Arizona Sports 98.7 FM.
I would say they have every right to their opinions. I'm glad they're passionate and have strong feelings. Certainly, I can be critical of Torrey in a certain way. Now, we've concluded that Torrey deserves 1 more year. We can't not evaluate all of the various elements that go into him doing his job. And we didn't end up with the talent on the field that we hope to have, and we know why. Yeah, there are decisions he made that probably he would wish he would have made a different one, but overall, he's done a credible job. He has great respect among our players. It's easy for somebody who doesn't make decisions to decide they have all the answers. Let me just say it that way.
Fitting for an owner to say that, right? I want fans to keep this in mind. I want them to try to approach this as fair as possible. Do I realize there's frustration with how this season ended and how everything kind of played out? Yes. Do I understand that fans kind of point to Torrey LaVelo sometimes and his decision-making during games, but that's kind of an any manager thing. Coaches make mistakes. It kind of just what happens, right? And I think some of his decisions are more connected through the front office than people know or people think about. But when you look at this year, and Ken Kendrick kind of touched on this and how they evaluated the skipper, I don't know how you win with what has happened with this team.
Listen.
You lose your best arm.
Yes.
Your bullpen was a disaster. You lose a number of good arms. Ken Kendrick said this on the radio today. They had 39 different pitchers pitch for them this year. That is just unheard of. And then you traded away major talent at the deadline. And then look what they did. Still in it till the last week of the season, despite all this chaos that had gone on this year. To me, that points to culture. That points to the guys they still have on this team. And that points to the skipper. And a number of players in the clubhouse today, guys, told me the reason for this success here at the end is because of Torrey. And Torrey lets the clubhouse figure things out on their own. And he's a player's manager. And that's the reason people like playing for him. And so I just think fans have got to kind of weigh the options. Right now, Torrey is, in my opinion, the best case of action for the D-backs. You heard Ken Kendrick. He said 1 more year. Now, I think he said that on purpose because Torrey has 1 more year on his contract. They didn't give an extension today. So, I mean, next year is a big prove-it year, and I think everybody in that front office, including Torrey LaVelo, understands that.
Listen, I just hope that they go to the winter meetings and they say, what was the biggest deficiency on the team, aside from the injuries?
Aside from the injuries.
And they say, let's fix the bullpen.
Let's fix the, I think
Let's fix the bullpen.
And Mark, so everybody's asking the question on money. Will they spend money? They spent north of $200 million on payroll. The owner said, hey, that's probably not going to be the number because there's going to be a number of guys getting paid who are injured next season, and who knows when they're coming back. But the one thing Ken has promised since the World Series is if they keep winning, and there's extra money, he's going to reinvest it in the team. And he said this today, there was a record number of fans who entered Chase Field this year. Clearly there's some excitement to D-backs baseball, and they made some money. And so guess what? He promises to put that back into the team. Will they have a $200 million payroll? Probably not, because a number of guys are already getting paid to be hurt next year, and not their fault. But will he do what it takes to put a winning product on the field? As part of these last 3 seasons, he's done that. So the standard's been set to contend. We'll see if they do that in the offseason.
Winter meetings should be fun this year.
Yeah, exactly. They'll add somebody. They have to.
They've got,
They got to. Locker room clean-out day out at Chase Field. Was this the last time we see Zach Gallen in the clubhouse? The ace is going to be a free agent. Could be up for big money on the open market, but has expressed interest. He wants to be a D-back for life. Also, starting pitcher Corbin Burns says the timeline for return from Tommy John surgery is mid-season next year around the All-Star break. That's good. Players, big fans of getting their skipper back.
We all love him here, so hopefully there's no changes and we run it back next year.
What he's done as far as bringing an organization that wasn't really good to World Series contender and sellers of the trade deadline, and we still had a chance to make the postseason. That obviously says something about what he can do with this group.
Torrey is the person that had my vote of confidence to be back and manage the team next year. So I'm happy for him.
Everyone wants to say their team's a family, but I feel that way with this team. I really do. That's why I say I go to war for Torrey. It's easy to look at the guy who's in charge and say that it's his fault, but it's everybody's fault.
The D-backs didn't get the job done this year, but Torrey LaVelo's job, it's safe for now. His team missed the playoffs for a second straight season. Lavello's coming back for a 10th straight season. Mike Hazen said he did the best with the team that he was left with, one that was derailed by injury, then gutted at the trade deadline. Lavello said he had come to terms with whatever decision was made, now thankful for another chance.
I was at peace with whatever was going to happen because I've done my absolute best. And we all know when you do your absolute best and it just doesn't meet the mark, then you have some satisfaction and walk away. You can walk away from that. But I'm not ready to walk away from this. I want to win a world championship here in the Valley. I want to celebrate with the fans. I have dreams that we all talk about.
Talking was the only thing happening at Chase Field on Tuesday, a day where ballparks like Wrigley roared. The sounds from the Snakes concentrated to a small corner of the stadium, concerned over how the season went.
We need to create their urgency every single day. It's definitely something that's not satisfactory to me.
Satisfaction isn't felt from any faction of the franchise. The front office says the team they touted as fierce admittedly had flaws.
The expectations that we had going into the year, the roster that we had, kind of fell apart on us a little bit.
And GM Mike Hazen said the decision to bring Torrey back designed to not penalize him for failures beyond his control.
It's also on me to provide him with the resources to go out there and win baseball games. And I did not do that this year.
He said he understands the fans who are frustrated.
If it wasn't so sad, it would be funny.
We're in charge of winning baseball games. Period. It's black and white.
But also pointed out the many shades of gray.
At the trading deadline, when I sold off half of his roster and almost all of his best players, and the other half was in Salt River, I never got one complaint about the team that was going out there to play today, and it was always about we're going to go out and win a baseball game, and we did a lot of that.
Not enough of it in the end. For now, lip service.
I know we can do this here. I feel very strongly that we're going to do something special here.
To mask the sound of silence. The Snakes now go into the offseason perhaps caught between a rock and a hard place. They want to upgrade the pitching, but that'll cost money. They want to avoid injuries, but they also need high velo guys. They want to double down on defense, but don't want to sacrifice too much on offense. Decisions that don't have easy answers, but ones that'll dictate the direction and future of this team. At Chase Field, Jake Garcia, 12 Sports.
Get that man some pitching. Jake, thanks.
The WNBA Finals is set. Mercury going to take on the Aces in this best-of-7 series. Game 1 is Friday night in Vegas. Tip-off is at 5 p.m. The Mercury are going to have to wait till next Wednesday to play at home for Game 3. Mercury going for their 4th title. They haven't won one in 11 years. Aces are going for their 3rd title in 4 years. Suns training camp continues. They open the preseason Friday night in L.A. Then they head to China for a couple of practice games. Suns get used to their new-look roster under first-year head coach Jordan Ott. Look at this, helping out at practice, Suns legend and new senior advisor Steve Nash.
Man, having two-time in the building, him being around for all of us, just knowing that he's in the gym is going to, raise the level of everything. So, I'm excited to further develop that relationship and, pick his brain. Obviously, he's a mastermind.
I like that nickname, two-time MVP. All right, Cardinals announced plans for a new practice facility in North Phoenix. It's off Scottsdale Road in the Loop 101. It's going to have 3 outdoor fields, an indoor field house, team headquarters, everything, all the bells and whistles. Cardinals bought this 217-acre site this summer. It was the same plot of land the Coyotes were bidding on back in 2024 before they moved to Utah. The facility is only going to take up about 30 acres there, so there's plenty of room to develop an entertainment district and more. Cardinals have called Tempe home since '89. Moving day will be in 2028. More construction upgrades coming to the famous 16th hole at the Phoenix Open. All right, here's the deal, guys. Fans are going to have more room to move around. They are adding another level. You'll have better food and all the above. No obstructed views anymore. A new video board, bigger and better. And then get this, you can purchase daily tickets for the new Pin High Club. Just might cost you a little bit. Golf's biggest party keeps getting bigger and better. Tim Ring, our insider, ready to bring the adrenaline this late at night. No ties, Tim. It's just awful, right? What a way to end the game.
Hey, right, exactly. Now we got to figure out those playoff situations all in November and December, trying to weave our way through a tie.
Makes my head hurt. All right,
Tim. Two teams the Cardinals are going to play, by the way, in the next month of football.
Coming up. All right, Tim, what concerns you most about where the Cardinals at right now, 2-2? What jumps off the page?
Well, the fact they're 2-2, that concerns me, obviously. Right off the the bat front page, right? I mean, if you would have told me back in early September this team would be 2-2 after 4 games, I would say no way. There's no way they're losing either of those first 2 games, and they're going to at least split the 49er in Seattle game. Cam, the division game deal has to be figured out, and I'll say it this way: Jonathan Gannon is 0-5 against the Seahawks, hasn't beaten them yet. Kyler Murray, since the 7-0 start that we love to talk about back in 2021, has won 3 division games since 2021. He hasn't beaten the Seahawks since 2020. So they don't play another division game until November 9th, and that's against Seattle again. So we can worry about that later. But, to win your division, you have to control your division. And Jonathan Gannon and Kyler Murray and the rest of this Cardinal organization has to figure out how to start beating these guys, or they're going to be on the outside looking in. We know the stats, right? If you start 0-2 in the division, less than a 10% chance already of making the playoffs. So they're already beyond the 8 ball, the historical 8 ball, if you will.
Yeah, and Tim, the big part is with that is like these games make up a chunk of your schedule there, right? So like it puts even more pressure on them not to collapse late, to win some of these games in the middle of the season. And right now, there's a lot of pressure on this offense, Tim, to figure out what's wrong. It just feels like it's a broken car right now, and some parts and pieces are just being left out of what they're trying to do.
It's interesting, Cam. Jonathan Gannon came on the radio on Monday after the 49er game and said he thought Drew Petzing called the best game he's called all season long. But after Thursday night's loss, Gannon, it was a little bit like the definition of insanity, right? No, he didn't say that, but that's kind of what he meant. He goes, look, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again and you don't adapt and you don't change things, that's bad coaching.
That was like his own way of acknowledging
this is not working.
We gotta fix
I mean, I hope he sees that. And this is a bottom 5 offense right now in the National Football League. The stats don't lie. They have no vertical passing game. They were built to be a 12 and a 13 personnel team and pound James Conner. That was their identity. Conner's out for the season now. Even before he got hurt, they really weren't running it. And now their receivers are dropping balls. But again, the lack of a vertical passing game, especially over the middle of the field, Cam, continues to be a concern. I don't know if that's game planning, play calling, the coordinator, the receivers, or the quarterback, or a little bit of everything.
It doesn't seem like to me it's the play caller, Tim. Because, listen, if you throw some of those plays downfield to Marvin Harrison when he drops passes, or one of the receivers doesn't continue on their route, and all of a sudden, that changes the game. They are trying to clearly push the ball down the field. In these past couple of games, you get some of those explosives that are there to be made. Maybe the conversation is a little different about this offense.
Yeah, but you're right, but it's also a lot of dinking and dunking, Cam, and it's a lot of Trey McBride, which is great. Go to McBride 12 times a game. That's fine. But everything underneath, short of the sticks on 3rd and long, running backs, flares, screens. I mean, it's too much of that, and you need to have explosives, right? Gannon came in his very first day of work here, talking about shots and explode. Pew, 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 pew. Well, we got to see those. Now, the question I have is, do they have the personnel at wide receiver to run a successful
That was a question
offense?
Coming into this year.
And they
talked about getting Marvin Harrison Jr. a tag team partner.
I know, and they put all their free agency dollars and draft capital into the defense, rather, and that's fine. Nick Rawls' group needed a little boost in that department. But now, Zay Jones didn't play on Thursday. But again, even when their receiver room is healthy, Cam, I just wonder if there's enough juice in that talent. In that room.
Yeah. All right. We got about 45 seconds left. Yep. Concerned with Marvin. Is there? Where are you at?
I mean, one quarter, 2 drives of football is not going to, change my mind on this too much. Marvin Harrison Jr. clearly is struggling. That goes without saying. He's in his own head. There needs to be more consistent performance, and it's got to start against Tennessee a week from today. So, I mean, did he come out of the woods? Is everything fine now because of the, what did he have? He had 5 catches, 58 yards, and a touchdown in the second half. That was great. He had 1 catch for 8 yards in the first half, but we need to see it more consistently. Yeah. I mean, he had a great game against the Rams in week 2 of last year.
That was last year.
And I know, but what I'm saying is, then he fades away for a while. So we're not gonna put him in Canton after a couple of touchdown drives on Thursday night.
There we go. Hey, welcome to Titans in town on Sunday. They're the worst team in the league. First-round pick Walter Nolan still out. He remains on the physically unable to perform list with a calf injury he suffered leading up to training camp. Nolan was required to miss the first 4 games of the season. She can be activated now, but the Cardinals choosing not to. Still no timeline for a return.
A lot of talent, that's for sure. Just got to get everybody on the field together at the same time. We just keep doing our part until everybody's back. Walter is a very talented guy, and he's making his progress. And when the time comes, I think the whole world's going to be excited to see what he can do, including me.
There we go. ASU on their bye week after another close win. These types of games are supposed to be coin flips, right? But the Sun Devils keep beating the odds. Jake Garcia reports it's more than luck.
The experts thought ASU's luck in one-score games would run out at some point. They thought regression to the mean would be very mean to the Sun Devils in 2025. Turns out ASU is still every bit as cold-blooded and clutch as last year. Kenny Dillingham said a 17-point deficit to TCU didn't faze his team. It only made them fight harder.
Big takeaways, our guys never flinched. In the game, there was no panic.
No panic because the Sun Devils had seen this story before. They were down 17 to Mississippi State 3 weeks ago. The dress rehearsal paid off. Dillingham thinks the success follows a script.
When you play hard and you care, you win a lot of close games.
A simple explanation, even if everything leading up to it looks so complicated.
You may hate it if I go for a fourth down. You may hate it if we don't go for a fourth down. You may hate the play call. You may love the play call. Everybody has to appreciate how hard our guys play.
ASU now at 2 straight wins on last-second field goals. As the clock ticked down, the intensity ticked up.
If you have people who are on TikTok all day, right, they're probably not used to being in the biggest playing a competitive moment and having to be your best.
No influencers on this team, but a fluency in winning close games. The head coach says it's more than a 2-week trend. The mathematicians who thought it couldn't be done can't measure heart.
It wasn't a flash in the pan. Last year, picked dead last. Of course, you're going to play with the chip on your shoulder. We still play with the chip on our shoulder, like we still play hard.
ASU went 6-2 in one-score games last year, 5-0 in games decided by 7 points or fewer. That type of stuff isn't supposed to be sustainable, but Dillingham thinks it can be for the Sun Devils with a steady process and the right players. In Tempe, Jake Garcia, 12 Sports.
Hey, the arena was also rocking last night, too. Suns hosting their annual Fan Fest. Look at this. Each player got their own WWE-style entrance. Devin Booker going into year 11 just got that extension. New head coach Jordan Ott, new look for the Suns, too. Gone is Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal. Insert young scorers like Jalen Green and the Enforcer. Dylan Brooks. Camp going well so far. They opened the preseason Friday in LA before heading to China for more preseason games. The new decision maker likes the roster they put together. And tonight, we are one-on-one with GM Brian Gregory. You said alignment, right? Yeah. It seems like everything is aligned. How would you kind of sum up just going into this year?
Well, I think we've worked hard, in terms of setting that up, in terms of, the off season, you start creating things. The players have done an unbelievable job of taking ownership, because we can talk about stuff but you have to do it. And even with the alignment and the identity, they have to embrace it. And I think we're in a good place right now.
Best example of that maybe is the guys you see in the gym already. I mean, late nights, early mornings. It seems like every time you walk in the building, I hear you talk about this team, somebody's working out and getting ready for the year.
It's been impressive. It really has been impressive. We got a guy who comes in every day at 4:30. I think guys coming back at night. I'm in there at night. I always hearing balls bouncing. So it's different. There's no doubt about it. It's different. And what it does do, and it's a message that you send, it doesn't guarantee you, but it puts you in a position to be successful.
What's it like to have a guy like Book lead this team? Matt clearly said, we all know this is his team, his city. Now he kind of gets to be that number one guy once again with KD and Bradley Beal gone. But what have you seen from Book that shows you, hey, he's going to take another step in another year?
I think he's excited about it. I think he's excited about the new responsibilities, added responsibilities. I'm thankful every day that he's in our organization. To not only be a great pro, but to be a great leader, to be the centerpiece of an organization, to be someone within the community that relationship with Phoenix is off the chart. In this day and age, when you look around,
ours moved.
Yeah,
he's never left.
Never left. We got to make sure that doesn't happen too. And I think we did this summer, So we're pleased. But I think he's primed to have a break, not a breakout, a great year to kind of separate even from what he's done over his career, and to take a new step and another chapter in a storied book here with the Phoenix Suns.
You've been around basketball a long time, seen a lot of different players come and go. How important is it to have a guy like Dylan Brooks on your team that can be that guy that can, somebody messes with Book, heck, if somebody messes with you in the first row, he's coming after him.
If I'm going out, he's with me. And the thing that has been, I did not know his work ethic when it came to just simply basketball. He's a machine. I've never seen anything like it. But that's also probably why why he's coming off his best season of his career, shooting the ball, impact-wise. So he's going to make a real positive impact, not only as a player, but with that leadership qualities that he has, with that ability to set the tone and tempo every day and hold other people accountable.
What will be a successful year for the Phoenix Suns?
If you look at the teams that have had success beyond the expectations and have exceeded those expectations, those teams play really hard and have toughness, and they play very, very unselfishly. We're in a position to do those three things. We need fans leaving this arena saying, man, that team plays hard. Man, that team's competitive. When you do it that way, those daily habits, the way you play that allows you to sustain it as well, which is important to me.
That'll do it for us. Thank you so much for watching 12 Sports Tonight on 12 Plus. Same time, same place next week. I'm Cameron Cox. We'll see you right back here Sunday night at 10:30 for 12 Sports Tonight.